things that now didn't seem possible, unless one shot. I looked at the flames and fingered the pistol, a P-38 I'd picked up from a German we'd taken prisoner in Holland. One shot, and I'd be back to all that. Not a shot in the head, though a few soldiers were known to do that too, but in the foot. Hell, there's no sugarcoating it. This was a coward's way out. It wasn't common, but it happened in war. One squeeze of the trigger, and you'd be unable to fight. You'd be a liability to your company, so they'd have no choice but to ship you back to the safety of England, maybe even the States. Accidents happen. But would the guys really buy that your gun had accidentally gone off? Don Hubler's had just yesterday, but he bled to death on the way to an aid station. I'd make sure I missed a main artery. Regardless, the price for my ticket home would be my integrity. All these guys forever wondering, did Malarkey do it on purpose? But then, integrity is an easy thing to lose in times of war, accidentally or on purpose. And when you watch others lose theirs, it becomes easier to let go of your own. Hell, back near Utah Beach, you'd see the bodies of soldiers stacked up like so much cordwood. Where's the integrity in that? Or hear those stories about First Lieutenant Ronald Spears gunning down a bunch of German prisoners, even one of his own men, some say. Where's the integrity in that? Or even before the war at Fort Benning, watch the drumming out ceremonies. The guys who couldn't cut it, the guys who weren't going to make paratroopers, would be marched up in front of everybody with a Tommy gun at their backs, and an officer would strip them of basically everything they had, including their pride. Where was the integrity in that? In war, you quickly realize that you're playing a game of odds. The longer you fight, the better chance you have of something bad happening to you. You die, you get wounded, you get sick, you get captured, or you quit. Like my father. He quit. Not in war, but in life. Went bankrupt during the Depression. He was an insurance man and just quit. Quit trying, quit caring, quit noticing anything and anybody around him. When times got tough, when he lost his business, my dad was like some 20-foot runabout trying to get over the bar at the mouth of the Columbia, crushed to splinters. My father missed World War I because he had been 90% blind in one eye. He was 4F, so he worked in a spruce mill making airplane parts. But World War I took the lives of two of my uncles, his brothers. Though I never knew them, they were my heroes. I felt a bond with them both. So much of a bond, in fact, that when learning that Easy Company would be shipping out, ultimately to fight the Germans, I felt the need to somehow avenge their deaths, to bring back something, some symbol that would tell my family I did it. I evened the slate. Some sort of souvenir. Like the pistol whose hammer in the chill of the Ardennes forest I now cocked. Truth is, I'd gotten to this point for reasons beyond Joe Toye and Bill Garnier getting their legs blown off. Beyond missing the Nehalem River. I also missed Bernice Frenetovich, a girl I'd known from Astoria who was now living in New York, where she was a singer. I started to wonder if it was only a matter of time before everyone in Easy Company was going to wind up like those frozen Germans you'd have to all but step over when heading to an outpost. We were like the shipwrecked sailors on a raft, waiting for the sharks. I felt hopeless, numb, not from the cold, as I'd been since we'd arrived in this god-awful forest December 19th. But from something that chills you far deeper inside you. Death. We'd lost more than a dozen guys in the last few weeks, some of whom were my friends. You see a dead enemy soldier and you say, at least it wasn't one of ours. You see a dead American soldier, one of your own, and you say, at least it wasn't me. You lose a friend and you say, to hell with this, get me out of here. At the same time, though this might sound strange, you almost envy the peace they now have. No more being cold, no more war, no more pain. All that bad stuff gets left to those of us who remain.